Ten Hag okays Mountain to Caicedo switch and orders an immediate or an imminent Moise Caicedo bid to see to it that he gets his first signing of the summer. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys? And where you watching us from? Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're already watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. I go by the names of Rock and David, and here we come to bring you the latest news and information as far as Moise Caicedo deal is concerned. What's the latest about Mason Mount to United transfer after the third bid was rejected? Let's see close to 400 likes. Smash on this video and don't forget to subscribe because we want to hit 14,000 subscribers before the end of this month. And obviously, let's keep pushing to really take ourselves to the next level that you are supposed to really take us there. That's it. I do my job of presentation and searching the news for you. Then you subscribe, you watch, you share, you like. So let's see you guys coming in through as we talk about Andre Onana to Man United. Some lies have been really rectified by Fabrizio Romano. And lastly, we are doing a story concerning a player known as Lisandro Martinez, who has gone ahead to up his recovery. It looks like he's ready for the preseason, and that is all good news for Ten Hag, though he is wanting the best news over the best as he's vying in for new signings. Now, this is Northcote. He's known as Jonathan Northcote, Sunday Times football correspondent, confirming to us that Man United have dropped interest in Mason Mount and are now preparing a bid for Moise Caicedo. The decision to pursue other options was taken after Chelsea rejected third bid offer for Mason Mount. Chelsea are insisting on £65 million, a price United consider unrealistic. That's my club. That's my club. Then he continued and told us that Ten Hag is thought to be on board with the decision to switch midfield targets due to Manchester United's limited budget, despite being keen on Mason Mount. Ten Hag wants to use the budget efficiently and to not overpay for players. That is it, and I think you will obviously understand what it's all about. Then he continued and said, as well as preparing a bid for Moise Caicedo, Man United will also step up their attempts to sign a new centre forward, with Rasmus Højlund and Randall Colomwani the primary options being looked at. Mohamed Kudus is another one who could come under consideration. Then he said, Brighton are believed to value Moise Caicedo around £80 million, considerably more than 58 plus £7 million add-ons Chelsea are demanding for Mason Mount, but Man United are prepared to take into account Caicedo's young age and radically different contract situations. Manchester United have a long-standing interest in Moise Caicedo, have been maintaining a dislodge with his representatives while going for Mason Mount, and will now intensify efforts to explore the deal. Now, United are intensifying efforts to really explore the deal of Moise Caicedo, and I understand because it trades out in 2 or 3 ways. The first thing that you're going to think about is obviously United having interest in Moise Caicedo. Trust me, Moise Caicedo is what we want. You know, instead of going in the market and buying 2 midfielders, you can spend that amount of money on only one player, Moise Caicedo, because he can play into the double pivot and obviously he can play as a CDM, meaning that if you get in Moise Caicedo, you'll be having 2 CDMs, Casemiro and him, and you can also play Caicedo and Casemiro into that role again as a double pivot. Then Ericsson or Bruno Fernandes, one of those, plays as a central attacking midfielder with the likes of Donny van de Beek onto the bench. That is it. So if at all you're going to spend, as Chelsea is calling in, for 65 million pounds, then you go all out and really pay some other 50 million pounds for another central midfielder, as the deal of Rabiot looks like it's falling out, and it's going to be something that Ten Hag needs to really think about. That means you're going to spend close to 110 million pounds on 2 players. But instead of going in to spend 110 million pounds, it's better to spend that much on only one player, Moise Caicedo, whose value is at 80 million pounds. And you understand what Caicedo is all about. You know, I got a story recently when before Brazil got beaten by Senegal by 4-2, that Casemiro was really drawing his final warm-up, and guess what happened? He really had to really get a knock, you know, or twist his knee, and he was really taken out. And you know, the problems when they start knocking on the bodies of players who are in the age of Caicedo, if at all you are sensitive enough, you have all the reasons to worry. That's it. You have every reason to worry about the fitness of Casemiro next season, as he played the entire season, his debut season at Man United, without getting any injury. And if at all he has started to get an injury, then you worry a little bit that he might be an on and off player next season, meaning that if at all you're having Moise Caicedo, it will be something great to get him in. And I've always told you what Patrice Evra came out and really told the board of Man United, that you have to start to use the ex-United stars to convince players that come from their respective countries to go on and obviously come to Man United. And for Moise Caicedo, it's obviously something that United should do. Let them get Antonio Valencia, who once captained Man United. Call Moise Caicedo, because I believe Moise Caicedo is still in Ecuador, and that's where Antonio Valencia is. Let Valencia talk to Caicedo, convince him to come and join Man United, and obviously things will go on and thrive. We won't even need to go ahead and obviously go onto discussing with Moise Caicedo. It's all about getting Antonio Valencia. Let him talk to Caicedo, because Antonio Valencia is being looked as one of the most successful players that have ever played in Europe as far as Ecuadorian football is concerned, and is so much respected by the likes of Moise Caicedo. And if at all United can use that tactic, they can easily blow away Chelsea, as we even have another contempt card of being in the Champions League, and Chelsea aren't in the Champions League. And trust me, we have a lot to put on the table for Moise Caicedo to come to Man United. If at all this story is realistic and United are serious on this deal, it's easy to win, because if you sign Moise Caicedo, it's over. You won't even think about signing any other midfielder. You sign Mason Mount at £65 million. You have to go on and really sign in another midfielder that can play as a CDM, because we are not going to go away. We're not going to go away with it, especially when Casemiro is suspended or injured, and you bring in Scott McTominay to play into that CDM position. That's out. It is diabolical. It has been a fiasco every time he has gone ahead to really try it. That is Erik ten Hag. So we need a player who is well versatile like Moise Caicedo, and would bring a lot into that midfield of Man United. And the worry of us not having a young CDM at the club of Man United, as when you look at Moise Caicedo, is just 21 years of age, meaning that he can grow alongside Casemiro, and as he grow alongside Casemiro, in the next 2-3 years would have gone ahead to get a more mature, physical and tailor-made Premier League CDM who is going to learn a lot from Casemiro. So I 100% give green light to this deal of Moise Caicedo, and I really believe that Ten Hag knows exactly what we are wanting from this player. And we wanted to sign this player in 2020. That was in December. January transfer window, before Brighton signed him from Ecuador to bring him to the Premier League. We wanted to sign this player. Then the other side that I have to think about is that Chelsea are also interested into Moise Caicedo, and it's like they are only burning candle they are left as far as the CDM situation is really concerned. Don't you think that United might be willing to go in for Moise Caicedo to threaten Chelsea to really accept the amount of money that United wants Chelsea to get, like £55 million, £50 million guaranteed fees, and £5 million of add-ons? Don't you think that's the case? I think that might be part of the case, but you never know how it's going to boil out on the final day, because Ten Hag is fed up of how Chelsea are really prolonging this deal, and the board is the most ashamed of all, because Ten Hag never wanted Mason Mount in the first case. He wanted Orikun Kokchu, and it would have been easy for us to sign him from Feyenoord, as we had already done a deal with Feyenoord. Remember, Tyrell Malacia was signed from Feyenoord by Man United, and it would have been something easy for us to get him at Man United. But they told him, no, we are going to offer you Mason Mount, and obviously they want in for him. And guess what has happened for Mason Mount deal? It is telling, and United have gone ahead to pause it, as Chelsea are calling in for unrealistic amount of money to be offered to them. So that is it, coming in from Jonathan Bartland, who is really revealing to us that Moise Caicedo to Manchester United. Erik ten Hag has gone ahead, all orders for an imminent Moise Caicedo bid to be put up onto the table to see to it that we get in this player known as Moise Caicedo. So that is it coming in from that side, but it shows you that United are still vying for Mason Mount, and they're not going to go ahead and obviously push for this deal anymore. That was the final bid as it was indicated when they're really submitting it, and it is something that's going to head to be really approved by Erik ten Hag, as the Times is reporting. Now, yesterday there was a story that Andre Onana is trying to switch his agents to accelerate his move to Manchester United. Now, Fabrizio Romano, Tier 1 journalist, has gone ahead to rebuff all those sources, and this is what he had to say. He said, rumors that Andre Onana has changed his agent are wide of the mark. His agent was and remains Albert Bettinos, who met with Man United earlier this week. Inter Milan want at least 50 million euros plus add-ons. That is it. So, coming in from Fabrizio Romano. So, let no one lie to you that Andre Onana is going to change his agent. The agent is still Albert Martinez, who was in Manchester to negotiate a deal of Andre Onana to Manchester United. Andre Onana is being seen by Man United as one of the goalkeepers that come in through and really get the job done, as the first choice that they want, that is Diego Costa from FC Porto, is very much expensive. 80 million euros, that is close to 72 or 70 million pounds, depending on the rate of exchange. So, as it stands, United are in for Andre Onana, and those rumors that have been circulating all over social media that Andre Onana is chasing to really change his agents to it that he comes in through and obviously becomes Man United are really falsehoods. And this is why some sources coming in from Italy are not really paid. I don't pay a lot of attention to them because I will understand that they are not all that. Apart from Mercato, Classio Mercato, Fabrizio Romano, and Di Marzio is also trying to put up stories that are not really maturing, but I think Fabrizio Romano looks like he's the only credible source coming in from Italy to see to it that we can trust. You remember the stories we did here about Kim Min-jae, stories coming in from Napoli reporting that Kim Min-jae to Man United is already done. Kim Min-jae is going to Man United, but you can give them the benefit of doubt because they might have gone ahead to discuss a deal, but United never committed to trigger the buyout clause of Napoli, of Kim Min-jae at Napoli, and Bayern went ahead to do so. So their sources have been giving us some half-baked information that sometimes you believe and obviously bring it on the channel, and sometimes Fabrizio comes out and really calls it off or rubbishes it off. So that is it coming from Andre Onana. And lastly, let's talk Lisandro Martinez. Remember, it was around the 13th of April when, I think the first week of April, when we are playing Sevilla and he got an injury, and finally Lisandro Martinez is back. His metatarsal found itself hurt, and we are all really hurt, and it's one of those things that really costed us our season as Manchester United. But we thank God for the gift of life that Lisandro Martinez is stepping up his recovery. You see him there running and obviously trying to kick the ball. And as said, vamos Manchester United. That is Lisandro Martinez. And obviously that was on his Twitter. And he has again started to really play ball, as you see him with his left foot that saw its metatarsal really have a crack, and he couldn't even move. Remember, he was just lifted off the field of play. That is Lisandro Martinez. And that costed us a goal to make it 2-2 because we are left with 10 players on the field of play. So Lisandro Martinez is 100% back, and he's so much geared up to be at Carrington in the first week of July. Remember, he's left with like how many days? 8 days to return to Manchester United. And most of the players that never took part in the national break are going to return at Man United ASAP. David De Gea, if at all he renews his contract, will be at Man United. Anton Martial, Anthony, Lisandro Martinez, which other player? Fred Rodriguez, which other never took part into the international break. I think we'll be having a couple of players at Carrington to train before the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Luke Shaw, even Aaron Bissaka will return in the first week of July because he never took part into the international break. The likes of Dalot will come in through after 13 days, after the first 13 days of July. You know, the likes of Ericsson, Alejandro Garnacho, Marcus Rashford. So we are going to be having a full squad in around 14th or 15th of July. And when you look at the fixture of Manchester United, it looks like when you look at the fixtures of Man United, let me see. We are playing the first game on 12th July. I don't know whether most of those players are going to hit to arrive, but you'll anticipate that in that game, we'll be having a goalkeeper. Is it Quava in goal? You'll see Bissaka. You'll see Rafael Varane around. You'll see Alvaro Fernandez, the academy guy, Ethan Laird. You'll see the likes of Amad Diallo being present, Anton Martial, you know, and very many others into that game of Man United that we're going to play away, I think, in Oslo. Then, on the 19th of July, it's going to be full squad as we play alongside Lyon, our last game before we travel to America to play the remaining games for Man United as the season really kickstarts in for the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers at Old Trafford. So that's what we had for you here onto the United Matters channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. What do you make about Ten Hag okaying Mason to Caicedo switch and ordering for an imminent, hear me, imminent Moise Caicedo bid? A sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. May the living true God protect you and really cover you in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. My Muslim friends, may Allah protect you. It's a Sunday. Say a prayer. I'm out.